The 2025 Brewers have embarked on not just one, but two 10-plus game winning streaks.
It is back! Soto back! Out of here!
While simultaneously utilizing philosophies that defy modern baseball logic. Check this out. In a matchup against the Seattle Mariners on July 23rd, the Brewers scored 10 runs on 17 hits. Do you notice any similarities between some of these hits? 10 of them were ground balls. Since 2024, on only 17 occasions has a team accumulated double-digit ground ball hits in a singular game. The Brewers and Phillies are the only teams to accomplish this at least 3 times. Unsurprisingly, the 2025 Brewers possess the league's 4th highest ground ball rate, an inefficient method of manufacturing runs according to modern analytics. Combine this with an underwhelming hard hit rate, a bottom 5 pull air rate, and the league's lowest barrel rate, it's clear the Brewers have chosen to defy new school sabermetrics. But in reality, they're deceiving you. To label the Brewers as anti-analytical is an extreme oversimplification of their multi-layered foundation. A foundation that just may carry them to postseason glory in 2025.
Deep left field, did he get it? Yes, he did! It's a walk-off home run!
With MLB's playoff races ramping up and the NFL season right around the corner, many exciting games are on the horizon, and that's where today's sponsor comes in, SeatGeek. With more than 70,000 events to choose from, including sports, concerts, festivals, and more, SeatGeek has got your ticketing needs covered. Personally, I've used SeatGeek for all of my MLB tickets this year, including a great deal I got on an Angels game last month. And with SeatGeek being MLB's official ticket marketplace, I rest assured knowing my MLB tickets are fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled after purchase. What I love about SeatGeek is how simple browsing tickets is, thanks to their rating system. A 1 to 10 scale where green means good and red means bad, so make sure to look for the green dots. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And finally, for all of you watching, SeatGeek is offering 10% off your next set of tickets with code STORM10. That's 10% off any tickets at SeatGeek using code STORM10. So make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek.
Runner at third, nobody out. Churio at the plate. 3-2. Churio line drive down. Base hit. Into the corner it goes.
It's game number 6 of the 2025 regular season, and young star Jackson Churio ties the game with a double in the 10th inning. With no outs in the inning, Christian Yelich is intentionally walked. But then, a balk loads the bases for an offense who currently ranks 3rd in runs scored when the bases are loaded. However, less than a week into the regular season, the 2025 Brewers' identity was still a blank canvas.
Worst case scenario for Milwaukee there.
Entering the 2025 season, many questions surrounded the state of this team, from the departures of Willy Adames and Devin Williams to numerous pitching injuries, resulting in opening day playoff odds of 35.8%, 15 points below a Cubs team who just added all-star Kyle Tucker to their lineup. In fact, since 2018, the Brewers have led the NL Central in opening day playoff odds only twice. Yet, they've made the playoffs in 6 of the past 7 seasons. Overall, this team seems to always find a way to win.
And Terang does square, gets a bunt down, here comes Den! He scores! And the Brewers win 3-2 in 11!
The Brewers currently lead the league in both bunt hits and infield hits. Just one example of the collective mindset instilled by manager Pat Murphy. Relentlessness, one of the 5 main principles behind the success of the 2025 Brewers. Take a look at this. This is a tattoo on Pat Murphy's right bicep. What is the 200 Club? No, it's not the number of pitches Luis Arraez has taken down the heart of the plate this season. That number is 233. No, it's actually a numerical code for a specific phrase. To decrypt this phrase, picture each letter in the alphabet as a numerical value. 1 for A, 2 for B, 3 for C, and so on. Altogether, this phrase equals 200. So, what is the phrase? Yeah, in this game, you're going to fail at times, but you have to keep your head down and keep going. That's the 200 Club. And this mantra was tested early in the 2025 season as the result of injuries and overall underperformance, plunging their playoff odds to single digits in mid-May. When you go through stretches like this, you can point to a lot of things, but the bottom line is, here we are, and what are we going to do about it? So, what did they do about it? They became the hottest team in baseball.
That's gonna get down. Here comes Collins. He will score. Andrew Vaughn delivers in the clutch. Base hit. Ball game. And the Brewers win. They sweep the Dodgers. This one's gonna split the gap. Yelich being waved home. The throw. Not in time. We are tied. Base hit. And the Brewers win in walk-off style. What a comeback.
Base hit, tie game. Sal comes up big again for the Brewers. Ball to deep right. It is way back and out of here.
Since May 18th, the Brewers have been the definitive best team in baseball, and there's 5 specific factors behind their success. Along with their relentless nature is their old-school small ball offense. Let's take a look at the 3-game series between the Brewers and Mets in early August. In each of these games, the Mets scored first, but it was the Brewers who swept the series. Let's start with the 5th inning of Game 1. Kodai Senga had been cruising through the Milwaukee lineup, but then he botched a routine play, allowing Blake Perkins to reach base. Bryce Terang capitalized immediately.
Deep right center. See you later. We're tied.
Hey, just because this team possesses the league's lowest barrel rate, that doesn't mean they can't crush a home run every once in a while. It's just that home runs are not at the forefront of their offensive identity. So what is? Let's watch the aftermath of Terang's game-tying home run. A walk, catcher's interference, another walk, and a hit by pitch. That's how the Brewers took the lead, ultimately winning the game 3-2. Now let's fast forward to the 2nd inning of the following day. Once again, the Mets have taken the early lead. How do the Brewers answer back? With a single, another single, and a walk to load the bases with 2 outs for Joey Ortiz. So what happens next?
Ortiz, a chopper up the middle. Gonna be a tough play. It's off the glove of Lindor.
Another miscue that goes the way of the Brewers. Okay, so the Brewers are just lucky. No, not necessarily. Rather, their collective contact-hitting, patient approach at the plate, combined with their speed, allows the Brewers to create opportunities for miscues more often than power-centric offenses.
Backing up to grab it is Soto, or was it time violation, a pitch clock violation on Helsley, and that erases an out.
And Contreras, deep left center.
Now, I'm not saying their offensive philosophy is simply capitalizing on mistakes, but it's certainly a factor in this team's relentless brand of offense. Let's simplify their offensive identity into 3 categories: contact, patience, and speed. I'm gonna name a bunch of stats that fit into at least one of these categories. Top 3 batting average, top 3 on base percentage, top 3 number of stolen bases, the league's best BSR, Fangraphs' all-encompassing base running stat, a league low swing rate, the league's best chase rate, a top 5 whiff rate, a top 3 double play rate, a top 5 productive out rate, a top 5 extra base taken rate, and finally, the league's best base runner scoring percentage. Yes, the Brewers possess uninspiring barrel, hard hit, and pull air rates. Yes, their established identity doesn't conform to modern baseball efficiency. Nonetheless, their strategy is working.
2-run single back in the 4th inning with the bases loaded and 2 out. Can he come up in a big situation against Ryan Helsley?
Ortiz a bouncer. And we are tied.
Something special is going on right here in Milwaukee.
It is back! Soto back!
This is Isaac Collins, not only the hero of this game, but as the Athletics' Tyler Kepner put it, is someone who embodies the Brewers' winning ways. Let's rewind a couple innings before his walk-off. William Contreras is at the plate, Collins is on first, Brewers are down 1 run with 1 out. Contreras squeezes a batted ball through the 5.5 hole to put Collins in scoring position. But Collins, in a split-second decision, makes the charge to third base. And he succeeds. He took the extra base. While it ultimately didn't matter because of a double play immediately after, the Brewers' unwavering on-field identity ultimately carried them to victory, a result of some crafty decisions made off the field. Today, Isaac Collins is a key member of the Brewers. However, a few years ago, he was a middling prospect with little hope for a big league future. A 2019 9th-round pick by the Colorado Rockies, following a 93 WRC plus season in AA at age 24, Collins was selected by the Brewers in the minor league phase of the 2022 Rule 5 draft, meaning they basically paid the Rockies $24,000 to place Collins in their minor league system. At first, I was excited, like, hey, they want me. They spent money to get me. It's a new opportunity, a fresh start. But there was also a side of me that was like, am I just here for depth? As just a backup in AA? The 2025 Brewers roster is filled with stories like these, and it's representative of the third principle behind this team's success: roster construction. This team currently has 19 players who've produced at least one B-WAR or F-WAR in 2025. Here's a breakdown of how they were acquired. 5 players through the draft, 5 players who were acquired via trade after they made their big league debuts, 4 players who were acquired via trade while they were still prospects, 2 players through international amateur free agency, 2 players through big league free agency, and finally, Isaac Collins through the Rule 5 draft. Overall, this illustrates the Brewers' ability to identify talent across all avenues, a factor behind their willingness to trade valuable players ahead of free agency, such as Corbin Burns, Devin Williams, and Josh Hader. We sometimes joke about dumpster diving here in a way that is actually a lot of fun, General Manager Matt Arnold said. We have a lot of guys that have been overlooked for a lot of years, and you always have to try to find value in those spots. I think it shows up all over our roster. In a 2025 poll by The Athletic conducted on 40 MLB executives and coaches, the Brewers were ranked as MLB's 3rd best front office behind the Dodgers and Rays, a result that makes sense given their ability to uncover hidden gems, but also considering the tight monetary restraints they're working with. Since 2018, the Brewers have continuously ranked in the bottom half of the league in opening day payroll. So, given their reluctance to spend on players outside some carefully crafted extensions, what do the Brewers do differently that allows them to continuously remain in playoff contention? Well, their contact-oriented offense alludes to a more traditional, perhaps even anti-analytical front office, but in reality, it's the contrary. Before exploring this idea, let's establish what analytics and sabermetrics actually are. Sabermetrics is the study of baseball using statistics. That's it. Advanced metrics are often attributed as the sole statistics behind sabermetrics, but as concisely stated by former big leaguer Robert Stock, sabermetrics or analytics is simply using the information at your disposal to determine how to best win a baseball game. Since the Moneyball A's opened Pandora's box over 2 decades ago, teams have gained a clearer understanding on how to best apply this information in terms of efficiency. In modern baseball, it's through a power-focused offense and a strikeout-focused pitching staff. However, considering how much value is placed on these skills, these strategies aren't exactly cost-efficient. Focusing on offense, among the top 10 leaders in slugging percentage, only 2 teams possess a luxury tax payroll in the league's bottom half. the Tigers, and the Athletics. In short, power is expensive, so the small market Brewers must think outside the box. As Fangraphs' Michael Bauman put it, smart teams can gain an advantage by identifying classes of players whom contemporary analysis underrates. For the Moneyball A's, it was players who got on base, mostly through walks. For the modern Brewers, it's speedy contact hitters who ideally play multiple positions, an archetype of player that became more valuable following 2023 rule changes that created a new emphasis for speed and defense. Players such as Bryce Terang, Isaac Collins, Joey Ortiz, Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monasterio, and Sal Frelick. None of these guys are power-focused hitters, but they provide immense value for the Brewers. Simultaneously, the Brewers haven't neglected the efficiency of power. Christian Yelich, Jackson Chourio, Rhys Hoskins, and William Contreras are all examples of this. However, this team has proven that outside of efficiency, analytics can be used to find value in areas where others aren't looking. Like the Moneyball A's, the Brewers have identified that class of player. It's an approach that's clearly working, as they're on track to qualify for their 7th postseason in 8 years, thanks to their best WRC Plus and OPS Plus in this span. However, unlike the movie Moneyball, I won't be omitting a very significant factor behind this team's success. The fourth principle, their pitching staff. Since 2018, this pitching staff has remained consistently above average according to ERA+, and 2025 is no exception, as they currently rank 4th league-wide. Now, unlike their offensive counterparts, this pitching staff thrives off efficiency, specifically strikeouts. From staff ace Freddie Peralta to a resurgent Brandon Woodruff coming off a year-long injury, to rookie all-star Jacob Mizorowski, to an unexpected key contributor in Chad Patrick, to a bullpen filled with absolute strikeout machines. All in all, this pitching staff exemplifies modern efficiency, a direct result of this organization's elite player development system. Take someone like Quinn Priester. Dealing with a multitude of injuries, the Brewers traded for the 2019 first-round pick who failed to make the Red Sox opening day roster. Not known for overpowering stuff, the team instructed Priester to induce more ground balls with his sinker. In addition, he's heavily increased his cutter usage, ditched his four-seamer, and has nearly abandoned his changeup altogether. Some drastic changes, but it's worked. Success stories like Priester, Trevor McGill, Chad Patrick, and Jared Koenig exemplify this team's ability to unlock high upside pitching talent. It's like they're crafting these pitchers in a lab that's designed to churn out as many strikeout throwers as possible. Well, what if I were to tell you that place exists? This is the Milwaukee Brewers spring training facility in Phoenix, Arizona. Somewhere buried in the confines of this extensive facility lies a room known as the Lab. An area that's off limits to reporters, it's here where the Brewers craft their pitchers from scratch, utilizing unique, proprietary techniques capable of transforming even unsuspecting bystanders into all-star pitchers. The Brewers do great at just finding a random guy, putting him in the pitching lab, and then boom, Devin Williams. Well, okay, I'm exaggerating a bit, but utilizing the cutting-edge technology in this lab, pitchers not only tinker with their pitch design, but provide the team with insight regarding mechanics. As written by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel's Kurt Hogg, while it's unclear how many other teams have similar technology, the common refrain from Brewers who have spent time with other organizations is that none of them replicated the complete pitching lab experience that the Brewers do. Now, there's one more lab I have to mention. A place hidden so deep within the Brewers training facilities that some question its existence. Of course, I'm talking about the Brewers catching lab. So what is this catching lab? Well, it's not an actual lab, rather a representation of the Brewers' ability to revitalize a catcher's defensive abilities. Most notably with William Contreras, who immediately following his arrival from Atlanta evolved from a well below average defensive backstop to above average in terms of fielding run value. And this leads us to the fifth principle: Defense. Until 2023, the Brewers' defensive output mostly hovered around league average. Since 2023, as the result of roster construction and coaching emphasis, their defense has been elite. Defense and base running are attitudinal. Taking pride in your defense and taking pride in your base running is a prerequisite to playing here. Since this team's rock bottom in mid-May, the Brewers have soared into contending status thanks to an established 5-layer foundation. And with these 5 principles harmoniously working together, the Brewers have created magic.
Deep left center field, it is gone! This team is unreal.
First pitch is by third. Reds win! And they break the Brewers' longest ever in-season winning streak.
But the ultimate question is, will this all be enough to win a World Series title?
Can it work in the postseason, man?
No, I don't think it can.
Oh,
no. All right,
Okay,
quick stat off
okay.
the top for you. So the last 20 teams to make the World Series, just one of them had a barrel rate in the bottom 5 of the league. That was the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2023. But nobody else. And the Brewers have the lowest barrel rate in Major League Baseball this season. When you out-homer teams in the playoffs, you win. When you don't, more often than not, you end up losing.
Potential Cubs rivalry bias aside, it's clear that regular season barrel rate and slugging in general has a correlation to postseason success. With this in mind, it's also important to note that few teams this century have mastered the art of contact, speed, and patience like the 2025 Brewers. Here's a baseline projection of where I expect the Brewers to finish the season. A batting average over 250, less than 200 home runs, more than 150 stolen bases, an OPS plus over 100, and at least 5 runs scored per game, which currently places them top 3 league-wide. According to StatHead, since 2000, only 3 teams have produced this baseline of stats. But when you add pitching into the mix, the only team who really compares to the 2025 Brewers is the 2001 Mariners, the sole playoff team in this group, but also a team stained by their postseason failure. All in all, the mastery the Brewers possess of their offensive philosophies can't be understated. However, within an environment where efficiency rules all, their margin for error will be smaller than other teams.
Right field, Freeling back at the wall, out of here! And the Mets had the lead!
Although, at the end of the day, the Brewers are playing for more than simply proving the viability of their team philosophies.
Please join us in a moment of silence for the legendary Bob Uecker.
On January 16th, 2025, Bob Uecker passed away at the age of 90. A legendary broadcaster whose voice spans across 5 decades of Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Known by the moniker of Mr. Baseball, even as his fame grew beyond the diamond, the broadcast booth was forever his home. Returning on October 3rd, 2024 to call Game 3 of the NLDS.
Big come from behind win for New York. After trailing since the 7th, New York 4 and Milwaukee 2. So long, everybody, from American Family Field here in Milwaukee.
Following this defeat, Uecker consoled an emotional clubhouse with his usual charm and humor. But for many around the team, there was an underlying belief that this would ultimately be Uecker's final game.
You know, all the other stuff is, it is what it is. It's a tough way for your season to end, but talking to Yuki, one-on-one was tough.
Christian Yelich said after their 2024 elimination that the toughest part of the night was talking to Uecker because he knew how much Uecker wanted to see the Brewers win the World Series. Today, following his passing, the completion of Uecker's dream is a driving force behind this team.
And he drills it in the air deep into right center field. He's admiring it as it goes back towards the wall, and it is gone.
The honorary 6th principle. Euchre magic. Obviously, it's 100% true that it's the players who are the ones on the field, but it's good to have someone in your corner upstairs. It's been over 4 decades since the Brewers competed in a World Series. However, between their unique offense, pitching depth, elite defense, and the culture of togetherness and relentlessness, all deriving from a cohesive player development system, this is arguably the best chance the Brewers have ever had to win a World Series title. Time will tell whether they complete their story. But at the very least, in a baseball world where efficiency is king, the 2025 Brewers stand out above the rest in a unique way. And as an outsider myself, it's quite remarkable to watch.
81 wins, best record in the majors.
These guys are something special.